What is up everybody, my name is Tonny and I'm here with another Warframe video, and in this video we will be taking a good look at Khora Prime. So I have 6 builds for you guys. The first 3 builds will be without the helmet system, and the first build is the range whip build. And of course with that extra range on those mods, you basically be able to reach most enemies. It is recommended to get the accumulating whip claw for extra damage since you lack ability strength. For the Brief Respite mod, you can replace this with Steel Charge, otherwise this mod itself should be good enough for you to keep yourself alive. You can definitely replace Coaction Drift with Primed Sure-Footed if you keep getting knocked down or annoyed by that type of mechanic. For the Arcanes, I have Arcane Energize for extra energy, and Arcane Fury for the extra damage. The second build I have has less range but more duration for those that wants to use Whip Claw, Ensnare, and Strangledome. The final build I have here would be the Strangledome, which basically allows you to use Whip Claw if you need to, but you're mostly going to be using Strangledome a lot for looting because of the Pilfering Strangledome mod. Allows you to get additional loot, so this build is actually made for farming loot. So I have 3 builds for Venari, and each of these builds are utilized usually on the healing stance or posture for Venari. So here I have crits for maximum damage, and if you're using the healing posture, make sure you either have swipe or sharpen claws, otherwise your Venari cat will not attack. If you do not have fetch or vacuum or any other companions, replace sense danger with fetch. Here's the status build here, pretty good for the healing posture as well as the attack posture on Venari. You can definitely replace the status with any other status you want. Keep in mind that if you're planning to stack Hunter Recovery for the plus 25% companion damage on enemies affected by slash, this does not work with Venari, or any other set bonus does not work. That is why I don't have Hunter Command or Hunter Synergy here. Only reason I got Hunter Recovery is for the Lifesteal link. This is a utility build, so this is great for the defensive posture for your Venari Prime. If you definitely want your cat to attack, obviously you can go ahead and replace Pounce with either the Sharpen Claws or Swipe, Synth Deconstruct for health orbs, Tech Assault for the immune damage, as well as the Zone, which basically damage enemies. I also have Synth Fiber here just to make my Venari Prime a little bit more survivable, and I have all 3 linked mods here. Alright, it's time to go over the stat stick here. I highly recommend getting a ribbon with 5 disposition on a melee weapon. It doesn't really matter what melee weapon it is, as long as you can fit at least all the mods here. And this is just a example here. I think this might be the best setup for the stat stick. And I have here Prime Pressure Point for melee damage. Conditioned Overload does not work here, sadly. I have Blood Rush here, which definitely works because Whip Claw actually goes with the combo multiplier as well. And then I have Organ Shatter. You get some Toxin here for statuses. That is definitely recommended because of the damage. Same thing with the status mod here, North Wind. You can definitely replace this with the electrical status if you guys want. Spoiler Strike for the extra damage. However, the attack speed does not matter here, so it might be a better mod to replace this with, but I do not want to format my weapon again just to replace another mod. Gladiator Might for the extra critical damage, and this ribbon has crit damage, melee damage, and impact, which also benefits for the Whip Claw. I could put Gladiator Rush in replacement for Spoiler Strike if I wanted to, but the 6-second combo duration is not really needed. Sacrificial Steel definitely works here, but I do not have space for this mod. If you're not planning to use a ribbon, replace that ribbon slot that I have here for Sacrificial Steel and you should be okay still. So I have 3 builds that is using the helmet system, a complete upgrade or somewhat a different playstyle to my other 3 builds. So the first one here is the Range Whip, obviously with maximum range and such. No changes to the mods at all, except that I have a change to the ability obviously, and that is Gloom, which is pretty strange. I know that's a little bit weird to put on your car because you definitely want enemies to rush at you, but this is just for extra protection layer just in case, in order for you to survive on your whips, because sometimes the whips does not really land on enemies when you whip them, which is pretty annoying. Even though I have max range, I still somehow miss enemies, which is weird. So just in case, for the Gloom, just to increase survivability, lifesteal, the slowness is actually pretty nice here. So for this build, for the moving whip, this is pretty much your average build here. I think this is like your everyday build because my first build is more of a personal build for me, but the second build should be fine. For the ability I have that's replaced, it would be the Condemn ability, which is pretty strange, I know, but this will make sure your shields are absolutely up and running, and basically you're stunning enemies too. So it's easier targeting for those that can't really whip claw moving targets. Condemn is pretty nice here. Breach Surge is also pretty good, but that's my 3rd build though, as Breach Surge can actually give you extra damage when you are doing Strangledome, as well as stunning enemies too. So it's actually pretty good for super high levels. The only change I have with this build when it comes to using the helm system would be, instead of the Venari bodyguard, I'm actually using the Accumulated Whip Claw because I did replace ability here. So these 3 builds are pretty much all straightforward. Obviously using Whip Claw, great for Steelpath, great for regular missions. Even though Khora got nerfed, she is still pretty strong in certain situations, and definitely great for farming loot. That is it for this video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys do, give it a like, subscribe to support my channel. Thank you guys for watching.